The Jersey's back. Happy Sunday, everybody. Okay, so before I do anything, I need to talk about my low, my high, my act of kindness. Because this yesterday wound up being really special. So, before I knew what was happening this weekend, I actually had plans on going to Illegal Tap House for the chili cook-off, which I missed. You would think that would be my low, but it's actually something a little more important. See, a while ago, my great aunt, specifically my grandfather on my father's side's sister, had passed away. She and a lot of my family that are from Ohio lived in that area, but because she was originally from Croydon, New York, they wanted to have the memorial service, here, specifically at Cooper's Plains Cemetery. And I mean, look, do I even need to say it? No one ever likes going to a funeral, even if the one silver lining is you get to see people you haven't seen in a long time. I mean, let's face it, man, funerals are just sad, as they should be. I mean, I can genuinely say that, a lot of people were sad for my great aunt when she passed away, and, I can only imagine how many people will be sad one day far in the future after it's my time to go. But for as sad as that was, it was being with my family that was visiting from Ohio that made everything so much more worth it. I mean, these are people that I don't get to see, except once a year. If you recall, because they actually did visit at Cuca Lake for a week during the summer, but we never planned on taking a vacation. So I really only got to see them on their final night here, as well as one of the first days they were here. These are my NFL picks. I'm just I'll hold on to these for now. So here's the thing. They actually did visit my parents' house Friday night, but I didn't go because I went to homecoming for Horseheads. Which, you know what? Again, even though we did lose, I'm still happy I went. I mean, I missed going last year, and you know what? It feels great to be back at homecoming again. Funny enough, though, now that I think about it, I was kind of expecting a bigger crowd. I mean, don't get me wrong, homecoming was still a big crowd, absolutely. But maybe it's just my imagination, or maybe I sort of need to look at everything differently, but I swear the game between Horseheads and Elmira had a bigger crowd than the one we had at homecoming. I don't know. But no, it really was a lot of fun. And yeah, I got to see my family, yesterday. Actually, no kidding. I went to the memorial service pretty much immediately after my video got uploaded. And I had to drive all the way to Cooper's Plains Cemetery. Full stop, I was actually a little bit late, but not crazy. I mean, it was a small event. I mean, altogether there was maybe 12 of us there. My parents, myself, and, my family visiting from Ohio. And it really was a very, beautiful, nice, quiet service. It was very wonderful and nice. And, we went to my parents' house to, kick back and relax and talk for a little bit. And then I gave everybody the idea that for lunch, we go to Giuseppe's and Horseheads. So, yes, you're welcome, Giuseppe's, for turning more people on to your delicious food. Seriously, I think I may have shared this story already, but the other day, my father and I went to the Horseheads location of Giuseppe's, and I ordered that, ever since Sorges closed down, Giuseppe's has done a really great job, filling that void. And my dad pretty much bluntly says, this is better than Sorges. Which shocked me. And he's like, don't get me wrong, Sorges was great. It really was. But, this is, and you know what it is. I can't believe I'm saying this. And again, Sorges, I loved Sorges back when it was open. I hear someone else is going to put a new restaurant in where Sorges is. I can't wait to see it and check it out for myself. But until further notice, Giuseppe's has been, the de facto place we've been getting our food on, Saturday night for dinner after church. Provided that, we don't have plans to go to Lives in Elmira or something like that. Yeah, so we had a great lunch at Giuseppe's. Actually, what's interesting is I wound up having Giuseppe's twice yesterday. Once for lunch and one from Corning's location. Yeah, Horsehead's for the lunch location for lunch and Corning's location for dinner. I mean, if anyone's wondering, how is it happening after having twice in one day? Well, good news, it is possible to have Giuseppe's food twice in one day and not get sick of it. So, I just proved an experiment for you. You're welcome. Although I will admit, I got different things. Keep in mind, I just got simple fettuccine Alfredo for lunch when we went to Giuseppe's yesterday for lunch. For dinner, I told, because my dad ordered it, pick it up to take home because we're watching my nephews. And I told my dad I wanted the shrimp scallop Alfredo. Of course, my dad said it wrong, so Giuseppe's wanted to give me the shrimp scampi, which I cannot complain. Shrimp scampi at Giuseppe's is good. It's very good. Not quite as good as Lives, but still very good. I highly recommend it. If Lives is a 10 out of 10, the shrimp scampi at Giuseppe's is a 9.8. That's how good it is. You totally have to have a wonderful evening. So yeah, thank you to both locations of Giuseppe's for being my essentially lunch and kind of dinner for the evening. It was wonderful. Okay. Also, after that, I went to Illegal Tap House and I went on a ghost tour. Yeah, if you don't know, Elmira, New York is actually the third most haunted city in America. There's spirits everywhere. And the old Federal Building has a lot of spiritual related stuff to it. It's so cool. It used to be a jail in the basement. It used to be the police station and stuff like that. It's really cool. And you hear these stories about all these people that, lived during that time, and depending on who you're talking about, are either good people or bad people. But yeah. I learned what a portal is. It's basically where spirits, come into the real world. And you can talk to them. I learned what dowsing rods are. I mean, I knew this already, but I got to see dowsing rods being used again. I saw people using pendulums. There's even that old thing where you stand perfectly still with your feet slightly far apart, and if spirits are around, you say, show me yes and show me no. If they show you yes, you lean forward. Show you no, you lean backwards. It's really cool. I mean, if you're someone who's easily nervous about stuff like that, probably not the thing for you. But, I do find this stuff fascinating. I do. And, I'd like to believe that, there are people there, the psychic who was with us last night, as well as many others who, do provide, some comfort. I mean, just because someone passes away, that doesn't mean they're totally forgotten forever. Whether people will remember you or, whether your corporeal existence, manifests itself to a higher plane. You know what? It's the law of conservation of matter and thermodynamics. Things can either be created or destroyed. It just moves from something to another, if that makes sense. Sorry, this got a little all spiritually. I'll get to my NFL picks now. So these are going to be picks 95 through 106. I'm going to have to pick number 100. It's going to be cool. Okay, so Rams versus the Jaguars. You know, I think the Rams are going to surprise everybody. I'll pick the Rams. They're actually playing right now. Oops. I told myself I wasn't going to wait until almost 10 o'clock to do the video to make these picks, but here we go. Let's see. The Eagles versus the Vikings. Now I go the Eagles. And you know what? After the Patriots beat the Bills, I'm starting to see them as more of a credible threat, so I'll pick the Patriots over the Titans. Let's see. Panthers over the... Oh, please. The Panthers are going to beat the Jets. No problem. That's an easy one. Dolphins versus the Browns. Browns. Pick the Browns. And now we have pick number 100. Okay, Saints versus the Bears. You know what? Since this is actually pick number 100, and since I happen to be wearing the jersey, why not? The Bears. So I'm picking the Chicago Bears. Okay. Raiders versus the Chiefs. That's a no-brainer. Picking the Chiefs. This is tough. I don't know, man. The Chargers are kind of falling apart a little bit. I think the Colts might actually pull this out. I think the Colts actually. Okay. Giants versus the Broncos. Okay, if the Broncos can beat the Eagles, they can beat the Giants. This is a no-brainer. I am picking the Broncos. Packers versus the Cardinals. Yeah, what am I worried about? The Packers have Micah Parsons. I'm going to pick the Packers. Okay, so. I believe this is the game of the week. The Cowboys and the Commanders. Man, I don't even know anymore. I really do not know anymore with the Cowboys or the Commanders, apparently. Does anyone really know? Does anyone truly know, really? Alright, fine, I'll pick the Cowboys. Why not? I've got very low expectations, but you know what? That's probably a good thing. And then we have tonight's game. The Falcons versus the 49ers, who just recently had a big win over Buffalo. You know what? Just because the Falcons had a big win over Buffalo, and because the 49ers are pretty injured, why not? I'll pick the Falcons. And that's all the picks I have today. So picks number 95 through 106 are as follows. I've got the Los Angeles Rams beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Minnesota Vikings. I have the New England Patriots beating the Tennessee Titans. I have the Carolina Panthers beating the New York Jets. I have the Cleveland Browns beating the Miami Dolphins. I have the Chicago Bears beating the New Orleans Saints. I have the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Las Vegas Raiders. I have the Indianapolis Colts beating the Los Angeles Chargers. I have the Denver Broncos beating the New York Giants. I have the Green Bay Packers beating the Arizona Cardinals. I have the Dallas Cowboys beating the Washington Commanders. Go Cowboys. And finally, the Atlanta Falcons beating the San Francisco 49ers. I just realized both the Falcons and the 49ers are teams that Deion Sanders played on. I wonder if he's going to be a topic of conversation for the conversations and songs leading up to tonight. But anyway, here we go. Here's my NFL picks. Obviously, I always wind up doing this. Picks number 95 through 100. Every team I circled is who I'm picking for today. I'll give you the opportunity to pause it and write down in case you're following along. Hey, Kilroy was here. No. That joke's never going to get old. Okay. I almost wound up sitting on this thing. Holy cow. So, yeah. I mean, admittedly, I'm pretty exhausted. Just because the last couple of nights, I've been up far later than I should. But you know what? I do need to do stuff to clear my head. You know, relax myself to mentally prepare for, you know, the week ahead. So, this is why, honestly, going to church has been really good for me lately. Crazy enough, like, I'm glad I'm going to church, you know, twice a week now, whenever I can. I mean, next week I'm only going to be able to go once because I have a very important thing to do next Saturday evening, if you know, you know. Yeah. Just, I'll take things as they are. Should be a very nice day out today. I'm actually really glad that the weather is starting to... You know what? I should say, yesterday was a beautiful day. It was. Like, we had like a little bit of rain, but temperature-wise, it's actually about as good as anyone would rather have it. It's quite possible that might just be the very last day of the year we ever have weather like that. But you know what? If it really is the case, I'm okay with it. Because the important thing is, I got to spend the day with my family. Which is always the most important thing. I hope you like this video. If you'd like to subscribe to YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble in this video for all of you guys watching. Enjoy everything. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Sunday. And remember, if you guys want to talk to us, we're here to let me know. Always back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby. By the way, yes, I am aware of this 6-7 trend going on. No, I will not be participating in that.